Hello, I'm the official name raider. Now, today we will be going over Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, and Igglybuff. And because Igglybuff counts as a Johto Pokemon, this will also be in the Johto playlist. But if you're new here, my job is to go over the first page of Google, look over the names provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Okay, if I must be honest, the first page of this, or just all of Wigglytuff, is kind of a hit and miss. So like Coldplay, I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, that sounds good for one of them, and I think it was Dugong, so no. Hillary Duff, no. Okay, so here's Kirby, and I have mine named something Kirby related, and I don't know if it's because I saw this and I came up with it myself, or if it's because someone else suggested it. But the one I use is Popstar, because it doubles on the singing thing that Jigglypuff has, but it also works as a reference to the planet Kirby's from. So it's not quite the same, but there's that. Tonks is one that I like just because it is a unique sounding name that stands out, and I always think of the scene where she changes her hair like pink, so like there's that, so that's associated with pink, but I don't know if I'd say it's a good one for Jigglypuff, but I guess just the idea of Tonks as a name in general is like so-so. Pudding is the Japanese name, and if you didn't know that, now you do, and I don't know why they named it Pudding, but for a nickname, I think it just kind of works purely just for the fact that it's like, well, that's its name, and it's weird. Bubblegum, I know we went over with Clefairy, and I kind of have a similar feeling where it's like, it's not a bad nickname, and at least it fits because it's pink, but I definitely think there's better out there. Airhead isn't a bad idea, but I don't think it's a good idea for Wigglytuff. I just like the idea because it's one of those, play on words, and it can work as a good nickname. I just don't know about Jigglypuff. Okay, so this says Classic FM, and it made me remember a site I used to use when the internet was young called Last FM. So, in a weird way, I kind of like that idea, naming it after that site. This is one of those cases where it would be a very fitting nickname if it didn't evolve. So I guess if for whatever reason you hate yourself and you want to keep an Igglybuff just so you can name it Gumball, that at least fits. Okay, I'm only acknowledging this because I've seen it like 3 fucking times already, and that's a Guildmaster. I haven't played Mystery Dungeon, so I don't know. Apparently that's the thing that the entire internet has decided is unanimously the nickname to use. So just know that if you use it, you're probably going to be fighting everybody else who also uses the exact same nickname. And then these other two are just god-awful. Alright, I'm also going to acknowledge this because I've seen this a bunch of times. Not Beyonce in specific. That's actually the first time I've seen Beyonce. But I have seen plenty, mostly Justin Bieber. And I don't understand why. I'm just going to assume nobody on the internet has standards. Because, like, if you're going to think of a musician, think of somebody good, for Christ's sake. But, like, the idea is naming it after a musician. And if you want to do that, fine. Just maybe pick someone who's actually good at music. Well, there's my suggestions of Popstar and Pudding. What is a Whittingrog? And what is a Withy? Wythe? Okay, so this isn't quite the same, but it did kind of give me an idea. Because it just looks like gibberish. And that made me think, I was like, what if you put your Pokemon's name in a word scrambler, hit randomize a few times, and then just use that as a nickname? So if at any point you don't care about an actual nickname, and you just want something silly, or you want a thematic, there's an idea, I guess. I don't think anyone would catch on, but it would be kind of funny. Okay, so Big Wig and Tough Stuff, those aren't the worst nicknames. I can at least say they kind of fit, and they work with wordplay and phrases and stuff like that. And I also kind of want to point out right here Ford and Pontiac, where, yes, the last episode I said I don't know anyone who names them after cars. Apparently someone else out there felt like naming them after cars. So we've made it to the bottom of Google, and there hasn't been much, so last thing to do is to check the spreadsheet. And it's all pretty bad. The only one worth talking about is Custard, which is Wigglypuff's little name in combination with pudding. So there's that, if you didn't know that. But other words, it's kind of a bust. The only ones really I think worth talking about, actually there isn't even anything worth talking about, because the only one I have here is written down is pudding. And the one I personally use, which is Popstar. So there's not really much. There was a lot of musicians, and if you can find something that's good and that can resonate with you, like, by all means, but it's not really been submitted on the internet. You'd think someone like Jigglypuff would have maybe better results, but there isn't any. So